a great it was such a great call, great info session. We had some amazing questions, and I went to record it. It was recording, and then in the middle of it downloading, after the Zoom, it asked me to update my Zoom app, and of course I did. And then from there, it stopped recording. So I'm doing this again. And then another reason why I'm doing it again is because I've been getting questions. And I feel like when people have questions, that means people have questions. That means that people are interested, but I either didn't do a good job of explaining, or there's some confusion, or there's some fear, there's some uncertainty, or someone just needs all the details. It's like when you're planning things like this, which are really big, you do your best to make sure that you really lay things out and make things clear, but you can never answer everyone's questions. So because this is so amazing, and because it is kind of like a two-part thing here, I really wanted to do this info session to really just break down what this looks like for those people who are really serious about participating in something so different, something so unique, something so life-changing, and something so amazing. Like, this is definitely an adventure. This isn't for everybody. Like, I get that, I understand it. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of jump right in to the presentation. So I'm doing this from my laptop, so it's going to look a little bit different from me. But first of all, I want to welcome those of you guys who are either listening live. I appreciate you guys. Those of you who are watching the replay, either on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're watching it, I just want to welcome you and thank you for joining me. I promise I'm going to go as quickly as I can, but I do want to make sure that I'm sharing all the good stuff. So I'm going to share who this is for, when it is, why I decided to do this, what it is exactly, where we're going, and how you can participate, how you can be a part of it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be talking about. So let's start with who. First of all, that's the most important. So all of these images that I'm going to be sharing with you guys are pictures from South Africa. South Africa is so beautiful. I was telling one of my girlfriends just today how it has the most beautiful beaches in the world. It has a top cuisine in the world, and it's just so amazing. And she was asking why she wonders why a lot of people don't go. And I said, I think it's because it is expensive. It's no one, let me not say it's expensive, because it's not expensive. Let me say it's not cheap, right? It's not like, going to Mexico or something, right? It's not cheap. And it's because Africa is not promoted or marketed as one of the most beautiful places in the world. The image that we see and we feel or we think about Africa is not what you actually see and what you experience when you get there. And so I think that's the reasons why a lot of people are not vacationing in South Africa. However, I see a whole lot of other folks there taking advantage of the beauty and the culture of South Africa. So who is this for? It's for those of you guys who are like me and you love to just experience something surreal. I knew that for me personally, because of just who I am as a African American, Black Foundation American, I always knew that I never wanted to step foot on another continent, okay, until I first stepped foot on the motherland. Because I knew from what I heard from my aunt and what I've heard from other people and just reading stories that it was a magical experience. And I just felt like I wanted to go there first before I go anywhere else. So if you really want to experience something surreal, then you definitely want to be there. It's also for those of you who want to gain new knowledge and education on Africa, because what we learn just in school, maybe on social media, or maybe one book you've read, is nothing compared to experiencing the culture there in Africa. Like, it's nothing like it. So you're going to gain a lot of new knowledge. That's why I decided to add the conference piece in here. And I'll talk to you more about what the Coming Out Conference looks like. It's not your typical conference, so I'll share that with you in a moment. So if you really want to become educated on holistic, life, on, family life, the culture, our history of Africa, right? The history of mankind. I'm telling you, this is definitely the place where you want to go. And it's also for those of you who want to see us in a different light, meaning Black people, right? Black people, Africans just living their best life. Africans are living, they're smiling, they're happy. They don't have a lot of stress like we do. Of course, every place in the world, no matter where you are, shoot, I live in Atlanta. It's poverty here. You know what I'm saying? It's hungry people here. It's people living on the streets here, and that's everywhere. So you do get that. And don't get me wrong, Africa, as far as a continent, as a whole, is very poverty stricken, but it's like that everywhere. But what I'm going to show you is that part of it as well during this conference and tour. But you're also going to see us in a different light, and it's going to make you even love yourself even more. It's going to make you just really love us, even more. I'm telling you, because you're going to see us in a whole new different light than you've ever saw us before. You're going to see us living lavishly. You're going to see us partnering. You're going to see us in community. You're going to see us laughing and supporting each other. Since I'm now doing business in South Africa, the way South Africans do business compared to us Black Americans is totally different. It's like black and white, literally like black and white. And I want to show you that. It's for you if you want to partner and collaborate on a global platform. Because what I'm doing, what my goal is with all of this, is to help entrepreneurs, whether you be speakers, whether you be an advocate for something, whatever it is. I want to form some partnerships, some business partnerships where we can collaborate with our brothers and sisters in South Africa and help them with what they're doing there, and they can help us with what we're doing here in America. So that's, if you're looking to, become this international influencer or business person or speaker or whatever, then this is definitely for you, because this can be the start of something amazing. And I always tell people, when I first went to South Africa, I went with no expectation. Right. I went with no expectation. I went just wanting to just take in everything that was going to be given to me. And I got so much more. And now I'm doing actual business on a global, and I'm an international businesswoman because of it. And that wasn't even the reason why I went there in the first place. Right. So I'm going to share with you how to make that happen for those of you that are interested in that. If you want to take your goods and services internationally, this is also definitely for you, because I am seeking speakers who want to join me. I already have a couple here. I have some in Nigeria, Kenya, Cape Town, etc., who will be speaking and sharing and doing workshops and presenting at the Coming Out Conference there as well. So if you want to take your goods and services internationally, this is definitely for you. And again, if you just want to live life, man, I'm like, if the pandemic hasn't taught us anything, it has definitely taught us that life is short. Okay. And we have to take advantage of every moment to live our life to the fullest, to create memories, and to, just celebrate life, period. Because, who knows? We may only just get one life, depending on what you believe. This could be your only chance at life, who knows? But if you want to enjoy this life, this particular life right now, then this is definitely for you, because we are going to have fun. We are going to live it out. We're going to have an extremely good time there. So that's who it's for. So what it is, so this is where some of the questions I've been getting from people. So this picture you see behind is where we're going to be hosting the conference. So the 3-day conference mission really is to promote collaboration, dialoguing, and networking opportunities between international and South African scholars, researchers, students, holistic practitioners, and entrepreneurs across the sectors. So this is really going to be a chance for us to collaborate. So when you see the word conference, I don't want you to feel like it's going to be like we're sitting down and we're being lectured and, people are just sitting there speaking. No, we're going to have fire chats. We're going to have networking opportunities. We're going to have song and dance. People are going to be bringing in a lot of holistic medicines that we are not even familiar with here in the States. It's going to be a lot of stuff going on, especially especially in the finance space as far as around gold and silver. So it's going to be a different type of conference, right? So a conference means to convene where people come together to collaborate and dialogue. We're going to study and learn the processes and systems of generational financial wealth and wellness opportunities, to include a lot of hands-on interaction and practice between international communities and South Africans through, again, like I said, through fire chats, through workshops, through song, through dance, through education, and of course, community service. So I am in contact with two different organizations there in South Africa that are really heavily involved in domestic violence and sexual violence, because that is something that is huge all around the world, but particularly, especially assault violence in South Africa is really big there. So we will be doing some fundraising. We will be supporting some of these organizations for women in South Africa as well, okay? And not that they are in need of our support, and it's our responsibility as Americans to support them, but just because this is just something that I want to do for these people who I have met and seen that there is a desperate need for support, okay? So we're gonna take what we're doing here, we're all in community service here, right? And also do it there in South Africa as well. So like I said, we're gonna have some outdoor fire chats. The venue that my friends at the Real South Africa, who I partner with, have gotten us is amazing. Like, we're literally going to be outside on a rooftop, drinking wine. Speaking of wine, I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. I'll be making an announcement soon. Actually in October, we'll be drinking wine. We'll be, really dialoguing and figuring out ways to improve us as Africans and African Americans. Okay. So there will be talks of change, okay, of releasing chains, of coming out of our shell, coming out of, this impoverished mindset or this impoverished place of being. So we're going to be doing a lot of that. We're going to be doing women, men, and youth communion workshops from international educators. I really have people coming from all through the continent of Africa. So it won't just be South Africans, but most of the attendees, I have some people on the ground there that are in South Africa, and then some South Africans that live here in the States as well that I'm partnering with. So it'll be a lot of South Africans mainly there at the conference. So if you're a speaker and you want to be a part of this, I'm telling you, this is a great opportunity. We're also going to be learning more about holistic medicine education, you guys, because I'm not big on pharmaceuticals. I'm not big on this stuff that I feel makes us worse. And so you guys know that South Africa, you should know, has the top doctors, the top holistic, practitioners in the world. And so we're going to be partnering with some of them. They'll be coming in and educating us on holistic medicine. And I'm really excited about that. And of course, during the 3-day conference, we're also going to be, I'm having some financial advisors come in who are from Nigeria, but now live in the United States, and teaching on economic empowerment, really building and establishing trust and finances, really getting our finances in order collectively. And also, I'm not going to share it now, but there's something that I have planned that I want to do as us to come together, which I've been talking about. If you've been to my mastermind, you already know it. But there's some things that I want to work on, and I'll be launching all of that in October when we go to South Africa. Just us putting our minds, our money, our resources, our experiences, our education, our talents together, and forming a community of groups so we can empower each other more on an economic level, because that's what we have to do. That's what all other cultures do. That's what they do in Africa. That's just not what African Americans are doing. And you'll see that when you go, okay? And of course, there's going to be business and finance training as well. Of course, we'll be learning business tips, business strategy, brand equity building, and finance training. And then, of course, we're going to have that day of service on the last day. So it's really 2 days of the networking, dialogue, and conference part. And then that third day, there will be our day out supporting out in the community, really just, touching hands and touching bodies and, being entertained, of course, as well, and experiencing their culture and giving back on that third day. And then, so the other part of it is so that's the first 3 days. Now, let me just say this, because I think it's important to understand. You have the option to come to the conference if you're, coming in from America. You do not have to participate in the conference, even though I suggest that you do, because it's included in the price or the investment of the tour, right? So that's a part of it. It's included, all the food, everything, all the workshops, all the learning materials, all the workbooks that you'll leave with, all the education, all of that is included. So you can come for just the conference if you want, right? If you want, and then go on about your business and do whatever you want to do. Or you can come for both, do the conference and the luxury tour, or you can just come for the 7-day luxury tour. So far, everyone who has not registered, I don't know what the word is, right? Signed up, I guess, who has decided to join me, has decided to do the full 10 days, do the 3-day conference, and then the 7-day tour, which I think is the best way to do it, because when you go to Africa, when I went, it was way too short. I didn't have time to do anything. Like, I didn't even have time to fly to Cape Town. I didn't have time to go to Durban. I didn't have time. So the longer you're there, the more you'll get to experience the beauty and just all the amazing things of South Africa. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. So you're going to become engrossed during this luxury tour. Now, I say luxury because I like to do things, I like to live. And I believe that we as Black folks, we deserve luxury. I don't have no shame in that. I don't care what nobody thinks. If we want to do things in a luxurious manner, we shall, right? And that's what this is going to be. So you'll become engrossed in African tribal rituals to become educated in holistic health healing from the inside out, from the natives. So with this, when we go to Cape Town, in part of your the price to go, the round trip airfare is included to go to Cape Town. The only thing you'll have to pay for is your round trip flight from America to Johannesburg. But we'll talk about that. We'll work that out for you. We'll even help you raise money to do that, which I'll share in a few moments. But I have some of my friends in Cape Town that are going to be coming to where we're staying, okay? And they're going to come and doing some healing exercises with us, and they do a lot of things through ritual, through song and dance that's very deep rooted in their culture that we don't know about, that's been lost with us in our generation. Now, don't get me wrong, African Americans, we have our own cultures here that are amazing, right? But if you start asking your grandmother and your mom and your aunties about certain rituals, they're lost. They've been lost by now. And then our generation, my generation, is really becoming lost, where when you go to South Africa, it's not lost. It's so rich. They're still, continuing on the rituals and the culture that's been established for centuries. So it's amazing to see that. So we're going to be able to learn all of that during the 7-day tour. It's like we're going to go a lot deeper because it'll be a lot more intimate, because it'll only be 12 of us. So you're also going to discover the best at South Africa on an unforgettable journey in the home to one of the world's largest nature reserves, the renowned Greater Kruger National Park, which is so beautiful, as well as one of the most dazzling scenic cities, Cape Town, embraced by Table Mountain and its surrounding wineland. So we're going to just see the beauty. We're going to do the safaris, of course. And I feel like, yeah, it's touristy to do the safaris, but I feel like I don't want to take my group to South Africa and not go to Kruger National Park. It's historic. It's like one of those things you must do, to go and be with the lions and, and the zebras, as they call them, as it's really pronounced. And just have that experience. We just have to do that part. And we're going at just the right time, because in October, that's the beginning of summer, of spring or summer. It's the beginning of summer. So the weather is perfect. It's not hot, it's not too cold, even though it gets a little chilly at night, but it's perfect weather. So you're going to be able to experience all of that. We're going to provide all the transformation, all the transportation is what I want to say is all included in the price. It's just going to be a very luxurious experience. You'll be able to reconnect with your authentic self and the magic of South Africa's natural world, because we will be out, in the natural habitat, especially when we do our photo shoot in South Africa. So it's going to be amazing. We're going to provide a mind, body, and spirit transformation as well. So that's the main gist of the luxury tour. And I'm going to go over the itinerary in a moment so you can see what we'll be doing day by day by day by day. So when is it? The conference, the 3-day conference is October 28th through the 30th. Go ahead and take a picture of this, even though it is on the website, but screenshot this, whatever you need to do. The 3 days. So you would fly in, of course, the day before. And then the 7-day luxury tour is immediately following the last day of the conference, which is our day of service. So it starts October 31st through November 6th. So you can have these dates. If you work, you can, request this time off. You can plan ahead. There's plenty of time to plan, plenty of time to plan ahead right now, plenty. But what I suggest is that you start making your payments, okay? Because like I said earlier when I first started, it's not cheap to go to Africa, period. It's not. Plane ticket, it's not. However, with your price that you pay here, everything will be covered for you. It is pretty much all inclusive. So let me go here now. Now, please bear with me. I'm going to click here and I'm on my laptop because that's the only one that allows me to, see, I knew it was going to say that. Let's see if it allows me to do it. Okay, so let me make sure you guys can see this on Facebook because there's a delay. So when you go to register, as you can see, I have partnered with the Real South Africa. My friends who are American, they actually live there now in South Africa. They purchased a home. We're going to go visit their community and all these amazing things. And so I partner with them to help me put together this amazing itinerary. So when you go to comingoutconference.com, you will be able to see exactly what I'm sharing with you right now. But I just want to discuss it a little bit because, again, I understand people have questions. So I want to go ahead and go through this to hopefully answer any questions that you have. So when you arrive on Thursday, October 27th to the airport, we'll have a luxury car service there to pick you up and bring you to the hotel. We're going to be staying at the beautiful Da Vinci Hotel. It's in Nelson Mandela Square, which is the absolute most beautiful place, I think, one of them at least, in Johannesburg. And it's actually what they call the, what is it called? It's pretty much, it's in Sandton. So it's the richest quarter-mile area in South Africa. So they have those, multi-million-dollar homes there. It's a real highly established, area, but we'll be right in Mandela Square where there's a shopping mall, there's restaurants, there's just all different types of things. So you don't need a car. You don't have to, do an Uber. And you guys, Uber, if you do want to go somewhere, which you, of course you can, listen, Uber is like $7 US dollars to go somewhere. It's very cheap to eat in Africa. It's very cheap to buy, materials that you'll want to take home and things like that. It's very inexpensive for these things. So we'll be staying here. So the luxury car will come and get you from the airport and bring you to the hotel. And then that night, we're all going to do a tour around Mandela Square, as you can see here, walk around, take some pictures, do some shopping. And then, of course, we're going to go eat. We're going to go eat and have dinner and do cocktails, right? Right here, you see this amazing picture. We're going to have a sunset, meet and greet with everyone as people are coming in and just really get to know each other. Because again, we only only have room for 12. And then Friday, the conference begins. And this is what people were asking me about. So it says itinerary to be determined. Because the conference is not going to take place until October, I really haven't like laid out the schedule yet, but I will. But at least you have an idea of what's going to be taking place during the conference. So we have the first day starts at 1 p.m. and we're going to end around, I think we said we're going to end around 8 p.m. that night. And then again, the next day we start the conference at 10 a.m. and go again on the second day. And then the third day of the conference is really not the conference, but it is. We're going to have our day of service where we're literally just giving back to the women there who are victims of are survivors as well of domestic sexual violence. And then on Monday, October 31st, that's when we start our tour. We're going to go to the famous Soweto Township, which is so beautiful. We're going to go and eat. We're going to go to the Nelson Family Museum. It is real touristy, that part, but there's some restaurants that I'm also going to take you guys to. We're going to go and see the shacks and things like that and just really tap into the culture there in Soweto. We're going to have lunch, which is you don't have to pay for. And I believe this is a Black-owned restaurant here where we're going to go. So anyway, you'll be able to read all of this. Yeah, this is the Black-owned restaurant. And then we're going to have that evening. We'll come back. We'll go to the hotel. We'll change. We'll have dinner. Then the next day, we're going to go do a full day safari, you guys. And then at night, here we go. Here's the Black-owned 5-star dining experience. Then on Wednesday, we come back to the hotel and you're kind of like on your own, you can do whatever you want to do. And then that day or the next day, that's when we fly to Cape Town. In Cape Town, we have more things that we're going to be doing there. Again, they're going to come pick us up, take us there. We don't have to worry about none of that. Everything will be covered for you. We're going to stay in a beautiful house near Table Mountain with the pool. We're just going to luxuriate, have a great time. We got a chef coming in to cook us some breakfast, some dinner, some lunch, et cetera, et cetera. That's where we'll have my friends and the people that I've been networking with come in and do some activities with us. We're going to go and explore Cape Town. Of course, we're going to go to the beach. You know what I mean? Come on. Of course. We're going to visit Nelson Mandela's prison where he was in prison for 18 years, among some other things there. Go visit the waterfront. I'm going through this fast because you can go when you go to comingoutconference.com, you can see all this and you can read everything. Then we're going to do some oceanfront dining, of course. All of these reservations we made. And then at night, again, we're going to have a really exclusive sacred evening ceremony of wealth and wellness with the natives. So I really wanted to make sure that, yeah, we do some of the tourist stuff, but again, there's nothing like tapping into their food from the natives. So they're going to come, they're going to cook us food, and it's farm to table food. So it's all health food. There's no, it's just, like the best of the best food. And we're going to do some ceremonial activities there as well, very sacred, just really tapping into who we are as humans and having this peaceful moment, doing some sacred activities where we're going to just really expand our thinking and tap into ourselves as humans, and just relaxing as well, doing some sound baths. I mean, all kind of stuff. I don't want to tell you everything because I do want you to come with no expectations. And then the next day we'll continue and do some more touring as well, go eat, and then go head back to the airport and then go back to Johannesburg. Then of course, because, in order to go into any country, you have to do a COVID test. You have to have a negative test. So they'll come and pick us up and take us to get our COVID test. You'll have everything, all the information you need. And then we're going to go to a different hotel, which is a new hotel there. I think it's a new hotel. I'm not sure. So don't quote me on this because, Africans, I'm telling you, let me tell you, don't say nothing wrong, honey, because they will correct you, but they correct you in love. They correct you in love, but we'll be staying at a different hotel for that one night. And then that next day, we're going to do a high fashion South African photo shoot. I have a native designer there who's going to be bringing all of our clothes. We're going to go to this beautiful location. And this way you can have like this bomb high fashion. I have makeup artists, all of this stuff, ladies. Okay. And it's going to be just truly amazing. And then that night we'll end with some African tribal dance from the natives and just kind of end our time there together and just kind of, soak in everything that we've experienced. Go back to the hotel, check out, and go home. Okay. So that is the gist of everything that's going to be happening. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So that's the where. So now my why, right? Why are you doing this? Especially since it's such a hard thing to do. If you've ever tried to plan a vacation just with your friends, everybody want to go until it's time to pay, right? Everybody's interested until it's time to pay. It start out with 17 people and then it end up being 2 or 3, right? That's just how it is. That's just how it is, right? So why am I doing this? I'm not making any money off of this. I'll make money from the conference because I just want to make money from the South Africans there with the conference, just from ticket sales, but I'm not doing this as a business opportunity per se. You get what I'm saying? So this isn't about money for me. This is really about bridging this gap and bringing more awareness to African Americans, those of us that live here in America, and going to really experience something that we're not typically used to experiencing. And I want more of us to seek to experience Africa. I think it's important. So I want to be a part of that, and bringing that to people's lives, because it was so amazing for me. So those people, like I said, who it's for in the beginning, and if you're just coming on and you're watching this live, you're just tapping in live, please go back and watch the beginning of this, right? So you can understand who this is for, because it's not for everybody. I get it, right? But those of us that want to experience life and really tap into different cultures. One thing is I was talking to a colleague of mine, Dr. Laura, and her and I are planning a retreat in 2024 in Zanzibar, hopefully, if our time permits. And she travels a lot, like she travels way more than me. And we were talking about how, for one, you can't explain certain things. Like you just can't explain some things you can't put into words, you can only experience it. So that's my why. I want you to experience this. You just got to see it for yourself. But we were talking about how when you take a vacation, how you feel, you come back better than how you left. You just feel different because you're leaving all your problems, your work, your clients, your customers, not your family, but you just kind of like having this moment to yourself, and being away is different. It's like you can breathe. It's like a reset. So every time I go somewhere, where even if it's just up to the mountains for the weekend, I feel different, coming back. But one of the main reasons, y'all, is because this is all I saw when I went to South Africa. And I'm gonna let this marinate for a second. Okay. I'm gonna let this marinate for a second. This is all I saw when I went to South Africa. On my airplane, I didn't see, going there, I was the only Black woman. I was the only Black person on my flights, and I took 2 flights. I was the only Black person. Coming back, it was me and another sister. That's it, y'all. Full flights. That's it. It was a lot of everybody who didn't look like me on that flight. So that's my why. And this is what I want to see, man. We need to be promoting, our culture, the motherland. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I want to see for those of us that want to participate in it collectively as a group, having fun, experiencing life. If you don't go with me, I just want you to go. I just want you to go. You get what I'm saying? Like, because not many people are promoting. Every time somebody go to Dubai, we seeing it, huh? Every time somebody go to Paris, we see it, huh? Every time somebody goes to Greece, we see it, huh? But we don't see a lot of this. But they're there, and they're living very well there and taking advantage of all that business opportunity that's out there. So that's my why. So the how, of course, there are payment plans. Okay, of course. So the total cost for everything, your hotel, your food, of course, some of the restaurants you will have to pay out of pocket, all your stays, all your transportation, all your tours, all the experiences, and the conference is only $4,200. Now, trust me, it was a lot more, but y'all know Ari is the negotiator of all negotiators. I'm going to negotiate. Okay. So it's $4,200. So what I have is to do $420 a month, which to me isn't a lot, but I do understand that that could be for a lot of people, right? So what one person did was they put down a larger deposit and then they're paying less every month, right? Which makes sense for them. So there's always ways around to make this work for you. But I've been telling people who are interested is start paying now. Don't wait and say, oh, I'm gonna try to go, in September or in June or something like that, right? And then you pay it. There may not be any room left. Okay. So start doing it now. So I did $420 a month for 10 months, but that was with payments starting in January. So now we're in the third month. So in order to participate, you go to the comingoutconference.com, make your $400 deposit, that locks you in. Then me or someone from my team will contact you by phone, and then we'll put together a monthly, bi-weekly, whatever works for your budget payment plan so you can have this paid off before we go. Okay. Now, do keep in mind as well that we are going to be doing some group fundraising, because that was, for me, because I wanted to give back and support the organization that I went there to support. I raised a little over $2,400 just from a GoFundMe page. And I only shared it with my friends, family, and a few colleagues in my DM. I didn't do a social media Facebook campaign. I didn't share my GoFundMe on Instagram, but I was like, dang, had I had done that, I could have raised like $6,000 and paid for my whole trip. You know what I'm saying? Well, of course, I flew first class, but still, if I would have really went full, and I decided to go last minute. When I went, it was 45 days or less that I went. So with this, you have plenty of time we're going to be doing group fundraising. So I'll be providing all the content. I'll be providing, all the images so that we can raise some funds, number one, for the experience and the tour, and then number two, to raise funds to buy supplies for the Give Back Day of Community Service that we're going to be doing there as well. So for those of you like, oh shit, I ain't no $4,200, which really isn't a lot. But then when you factor in your flight, right? It could be expensive. It's not cheap. I know that. It's definitely not cheap, right? It's definitely not cheap. But just keep in mind that we're going to have that option for you as well. And so that was one thing where one person was like, okay, I'm definitely going, because I know for a fact, I can raise some money from my friends and family. If it's $5 from one person, $10 from one person, whatever, because that money is going to also be going to the people for the day of service. So there are ways around that. There are 3 possible plans for you to choose from, which I already shared with you. You can just go to the conference if you want to. You can do the luxury tour only, which is the 7 days, or you can do both. We are currently seeking speakers, ambassadors, and sponsors. My ambassadors are there on the ground. We're looking for sponsors as well who want to, support financially what we're doing there, and, have their products and services promoted in South Africa. All of this you can do on the website, okay? Depending on your location, we'll provide suggestions on the best flights into Johannesburg. The flight must be booked separately and is not included in your plan package, but the round trip flight to Cape Town will be booked on your behalf for those of you that are doing the luxury tour, okay? It is included, so you don't have to book that. No visa is required from the US, but you must have some travel documents that you're gonna have to fill out, and you have to do a COVID CPR test 24 hours before you leave. And the only reason why I would ever cancel this if the government mandated it in a pandemic or similar situation, which is highly unlikely. But in that case, the venue will allow us to reschedule. And they did at the time that I typed this up, there was a travel ban there, but it doesn't apply to US citizens or permanent residents. It's only for permanent residents only, so you don't have to worry about that. But I do always, anytime you travel like this, I do always highly suggest that you purchase travel insurance, okay? And we also offer a travel protection plan as well. Like if there's some severe health conditions where you can't go, you get the full $4,200 back of your package plan if you decide to buy that. So so go to comingoutconference.com. Again, you'll see that itinerary. You'll be able to make your deposit. And again, this is just going to be an unforgettable, conference and tour experience with some dynamic. One thing about me is that I attract good energy, and I can say that I'm not bragging about that. It's just, that's one of the things I'm very proud of. Like if you've ever been to any of my conferences or any of my masterminds or anything that I've ever done, it's always great, dope energy in the room, and in the place. Even my friends, and my family and the people that I surround myself with, it's just dynamic energy. So I want you to really open your mind and your spirit and think outside of the box, you know what I mean? And get uncomfortable, when you're thinking about, doing this excursion and this journey and this experience with me. So that's it. That's all. I wanted to share this. I'm glad I recorded it. So now that anybody who wants to have any questions, hopefully they'll be able to watch this whole video. I tried to keep it short, but I'm so excited and I just want to make sure that everybody has all of the information that they need. So I will see really fast here if there are any questions in the chat. So does anyone have any questions for me? Or on Facebook? I know there's a delay. Any questions for me? I know sometimes people ask, what's the deadline? Really, the deadline is once we're full. We only have space for the luxury tour for 12, but if you just want to come for the conference alone, of course, there's no deadline. You can come whenever, you want. I'll start selling the conference tickets. When did I say? I think I said July. Around July, for the people there in South Africa. And I have some amazing presenters. I'm talking about some world class. It's gonna be dope, y'all. But anyway, does anybody have any questions for me on Zoom or on Facebook? I'll give it a moment. I'm reading your comments on Facebook. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on this. I'm telling you guys, it'd be an experience of a lifetime. And I'm excited to be doing it. I couldn't believe that I did it, but I was so inspired by Kim Poole, who I went to, when I went to South Africa last October. I was invited there as a speaker. And again, I went with no expectations. And I had 45 minutes to plan and pay for everything. Right, literally. And I went with no expectations. And I'm telling you, and I didn't even go for her tour. She did the conference and the tour. I just went for the conference only, right? And then I, hooked up with my friends there and people that I knew and met people along the way. I met people. I meet people everywhere I go. And I met people along the way and I just made it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring people here because we need to be here. We need to experience this. So yeah, you guys. So it is. Seats are limited. It's first come, first serve. So put your deposit in. Go to comingoutconference.com. Put your deposit, and then we can chat about what a payment plan looks like for you to have it paid off before October 1st. What date should we be there? You want to get there on October 27th, the day before. And you'll see that on the itinerary when you go to comingoutconference.com. You're going to need to put in your email, and then you'll get a link with that itinerary that I just sent you, and it'll show you that you want to definitely come the day before. And we'll have luxury car service to pick you up and bring you to the hotel. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Grace. Any other questions? I don't see any questions in the chat on Zoom. So I'm reading Facebook has questions, and I'm going to save this for those of you guys that are just coming on. Thank you, Chantel, for putting the link on the chat. I appreciate that. Comingoutconference.com. I'm gonna download this video and put it on YouTube as well. Can you pin the website? I will. Comingoutconference.com. Any questions for me? Oh, there is a Q&A. Hold on. Deborah, I apologize that I am on the link late. I will go to comingoutconference.com, but I would like to know what are the dates. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Deborah. Any other questions? If you're coming on late, you can catch the whole replay on YouTube. I'm going to upload this on YouTube, so it should be there by tomorrow. Or my Facebook page, Ari Squires' personal Facebook page. You'll be there too. Any other questions? I see some questions, y'all, but I can't see them. Hold on, what's wrong? Let me see what's going on here. Why I can't see the questions. I mean, any other questions on the chat? On the Zoom? Yeah, I'm trying to get on the face. I could probably do it from my phone. I could probably see your questions from my phone. I see you guys going to the website. Yay, you guys, man, I'm telling you guys. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is that once we get all of our people, like when we're about 3 months away, I'm going to put us all in a Facebook group or a WhatsApp. You know what? I'm going to do WhatsApp. I'm going to put us all in WhatsApp because you're going to need WhatsApp anyway to be on the ground in South Africa, because that's how you communicate with everybody, right? And those of you that travel, you know that. So once you put your deposit, go ahead and download the WhatsApp app if you don't have it. And I'm going to put us all in a group because we can do video, we can just do everything in that group. But we're going to start doing some virtual meetups as well, so that we all can get to know each other ahead of time, you know, and start formulating our own bonds. So that way, when we have our meet and greet, you know, up there on the rooftop at the Nelson Mandela Square, we can just kind of cut up and we're kind of familiar with each other and just kind of, you know, unwind and get ready for this amazing experience. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some monthly meetups where we'll meet and just touch base, and I'll share different things to prepare you. And when you're traveling abroad, especially for the first time, one thing, there was a lot of things that I didn't know, and I wish that I would have known. No one told me that I had to learn when I got there. So I'm going to be sharing all of that information with you guys as well in the meetup, so that you guys are fully prepared and you don't feel set up. Because I felt a little set up, only because I just didn't know, but I do know as well. I was invited late to the conference, and you know what I mean? And I just kind of, you know, me, I'm a risk taker. So I literally booked a whole trip to South Africa in 45 days, like for real, because I'm just crazy like that. I'm just crazy like that. That's just me. Any other questions? No, you did a great job explaining. Thank you, Chantel. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope to see you there. And I know, I know how it is, people get excited, and then when it comes down to it, the excitement, life happens, so really look at getting uncomfortable, okay? Really getting uncomfortable and realizing that this is a lifetime experience, okay? All right, perfect. Well, you guys, I am going to go ahead and end the chat in this session. I don't have any questions here on Zoom. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Like I said, I'll put this on YouTube. It's also on my personal Facebook page for you to go and catch the replay. Love you guys, and I'll see y'all in South Africa. All right, you guys, have a good night. Thanks.